Beautiful souls, and welcome. Welcome back, or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or on my live feeds, simply take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. It's good to see you. Good morning, and thank you for joining me. My apologies for not being here yesterday morning. I had something unexpected jump into my schedule that I prevented me from coming on live. I am here this morning with the energy update for the month of August. So I will be taking a little bit of a break from the YouTube live. So I thought I would just do the entire month and give you guys an energy update for the entire month rather than a weekly update. If I get some time to pop on during the month of August, I will definitely do that. But for now, this is where we are. I am doing a monthly. So August, wow, I spent a significant amount of time channeling this update over the course of a couple days, including this morning. I just did sit with spirit this morning and say, is there anything else we're going to add? Because it's quite simple. Excuse me. It is quite simple. And the energy that's coming in that we're being asked, and we always have choice and free will. And I say that all the time. But what we're being asked to kind of lean into this morning is simplicity. It's going to be a huge, huge, huge vibration that's going to represent itself for us to kind of grab. Deep work can happen here, is what Spirit whispered to me this morning. We always think the deep work, the hard stuff, all the chaos going on, we think that we always have to be doing something, whether it be the healing work or the spiritual journey. The physical world itself it's always been chaotic. I mean, when you reflect back over your lifetime, I mean, it's always has a busy vibration, and we're kind of pushed or conditioned or taught that the busier that we are, the more successful that we are, or the more faster we're going to get there. And spirit is like, just slow down. Take smaller bites this month. Simplicity is huge. Sometimes it feels like we take one step forward and two steps back. Agreed. And I think that that's a lot for a big theme for a lot of us. We think that we're going forward, and all of a sudden we're taking two steps back. Smaller bites, simplifying things. And spirit says this to me all the time, and I feel this all the time. The spirit dimensions are very simple. It's just simple. It's love, it's joy, it's peace, it's healing. It's all of those very simple things crash land into the physical world, and it's chaos, and it can be hectic, and it's like fast paced all the time, and we don't slow it down. Now, I didn't realize it back in early July, when I really felt myself needing a break, and I just needed to kind of like take some time. I didn't realize at that moment that the August forecast was going to be just simply sit, breathe, in finding those little glimmers of joy, becoming portals of your own power. Where was a sentence that spirit gave me that I sat with for 2 days: becoming portals of your own power. And when you think about your own personal power, forget for a moment the physical world. Just kind of put it on pause for a moment and think about your own power. Think about your own energy. Think about what really matters. Think about what brings you joy. When you sit in that, there's healing. There's healing in simplicity. There's healing in just taking a moment, stop thinking about the perfect picture, stop thinking about, what about all of that, and just kind of feel that. Nurture your own higher power. And your own higher power is simple. It's love, it's joy, it's all of those things that the spirit dimensions are. And it's always been right in front of us. This whole taking smaller bites and being able to put down, okay, what's in my control and what's out of my control, what's happening in the world, what is happening in my own world, and where can I just enjoy the view? Where can I just enjoy the view? And being able to lean in that, even if it's just like for a moment in the upcoming weeks, it can really kind of reshape and kind of put you back into this balance. Trying to fix everything, trying to heal everything, trying to always be in that fast pace is really giving us a bit of a friction, and you're probably all feeling it. Like, how many of you have this tenseness, whether it be in your lower back or your upper shoulders, or perhaps in your stomach? Where is the tense that you're holding? Right now, I get it, and so does spirit. And I said to spirit, yeah, but we need this, and we need that, and we need this, and of course we need to work, and of course we need to manage everything, but we also need to look at where the simple joys are. We also need to look at where can I pause for a moment to take a breath, to come into my heart, and to take a smaller bite. And it sounds very simple, and some of you are maybe like, yeah, but lean into that for a moment. Just lean. I'll put my hand up, and I'm the first one to admit things. For myself, and yeah, but things too. Yeah, but this needs to be done. Yeah, but this needs to be done. And I think that when we just take a moment to process what we really need, what do you really need? Right? What do you really, really need? What's most important? Those little things. What is the most important thing? And very simple, and I sat there with my sheet of paper and all my channeling with this really simple, what do I really need? What do I need a red hot moment. I need to lean into joy. I need to take a breath. I need to look after myself. I need to just kind of sit and breathe and enjoy the view. August is going to be about enjoying the view. Let's just enjoy the view. Rather it be one moment, whether it be able to take half a day, whether you have some vacation time off. How can you enjoy the view? And just think about that for a moment. Like how many days go by where you don't just pause and watch the sunset or rise? How many days go by where we just don't simply, take a breath and lean into those little pleasures? Those little pleasures. How many days go by before you thank yourself? How many days go by where you simply, don't acknowledge, I'm doing the best that I can today, my best is good enough. That simplicity, it doesn't have to be this great big purge of your house or this great big a huge awakening it doesn't have to be any of that. It can just be something very simple. How can I just take some simple moments? And I say this all the time on the channel, moments matter. Not everybody can take a week off, not everybody can take a weekend off, not everybody can take a month off, but we can take a moment. We can come back to that heart space for a moment. We can take a smaller bite. And I think sometimes too, smaller bites can be less social media. I found myself, and I'm always brutally honest with you. I found myself a little bit angry with some of the things that I'm seeing, and I don't go on social media often, so I can't imagine. Like I don't scroll, But a few things popped up into my feeds very recently that I was like, how can this be a thing? Like, why are you trying to market or channels, things just for profit? Like it just drove me nuts, and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to even read only my own things for an entire month. I'm just not going to. I need to take smaller bites. And when you think about that for a moment, all of those things that we invite into our vibration, including scrolling, we invite that in, and then it starts to play. How many of you have watched something and then it played in your mind for a long time? Right? It affects us, and we just need to take a break and simple. So you want to know what got me angry? I can hear you. What got you so angry, Lana? I literally logged on to do the community post where I posted I won't be here on Monday morning, and there was somebody that had a spirit box that decided it was a good idea to do a social media feed on Ozzy and had him speak through the box. And I thought to myself, the guy just passed. Like, give his family a red hot moment, right? Like it fired me up. It fired me up. And I was just like, okay, like I don't have to watch that. I don't have to lean into that. I don't have to invest my energy into that. So watch where you're investing. Watch what you're leaning into. How can I simplify it? There are ways of taking smaller bites. So take a look at that for the upcoming month. August does have a gentle feel energetically if we choose to lean into it. You can choose to lean out of it. You can choose whatever you want to choose for yourself. But how can I choose a softer? And that is exactly how the spirit dimensions feel. People say to me all the time or ask me all the time, what does it feel like over there? What's it like over there? And it's simple. It's unconditional love, peace, joy, magic. Like there's it's not complicated, frustrating, angry. It's soft. It's very soft. So when we embrace that soft, nurturing ourselves leads to a higher power within, higher power for everybody else that's around you. Just take a moment. The other thing I want to talk about that I think is going to come up when we slow it down, sometimes we start to pause and think, and we start to lean into old things that happen. And I just wanted to take a moment and just say, Yes, we all are wounded healers, every single one of us. We all have our wounds, we all have our story, we all have our experience, we all have that hurt, we all have a scar somewhere in our heart space where things have happened that have left a scar. People have maybe wiped their feet in your heart space, but how can I lean into that and shape that to perhaps help other people? We can't always fix, right? There's a huge misconception that healing means that we're fixed. And healing means that we've nurtured that wound. Healing means that we've loved ourselves. Healing means that we can figure out a way to help other people as well as helping ourselves. And I think that sometimes we feel discouraged or shame, or for the things that we cannot fix. And I think that we've leaned over too far sometimes with being able to fix it all. We can't fix it all, but how can we use those experiences to kind of nurture ourselves? Healing is not about a perfect picture. So when we slow it down, when we just listen, when we come back to the heart space, and when we slow it down, it's instant. It's just an instant back into the heart space, right? I'm just gonna breathe. And what do you think happens? You go into your heart space. Breathing comes from the chest. What's in there, right? It's just a simple vibration. And I'll be honest, when I made a decision that I was going to lean into just doing a monthly August update, I went into it like, oh, how long does it have to be? How long should I sit in channel for? How long? I went there instantly as well because we're programmed that way. So take some time to kind of rewire, unplug, think a little bit differently. How can I look at it from a very different perspective? How can I slow it down? And simple. It could be, what I think for the month of August, I'm just going to have simple meals. It's going to be very, very simple. Or perhaps I'm just going to, like, take a moment and breathe. Perhaps I'm going to look at how I'm utilizing my lunchtime. Those simple things, and it's so simple. And, Spirit says it to me all the time. It's simple. Take a break. Look at it, breathe. Don't overthink it. Just allow, all of those little things that we hear all the time from, all the time. Breathe. Like how many spiritual healers, will say that to you. Go sit with it, breathe. It's simple energy, and August is giving it to us in a beautiful gift wrap. There you go. There you go. There are things that we can change and things that we cannot change, and we cannot change things that are out of our personal power. Care Bear stare it if you have to. Send love and light and all of that to what you can't change, and come back to what you can, and you can change how we respond to things, and moments matter. I will be grabbing some questions. I know that simplicity and slowing down and just coming back into the heart space and taking smaller bites, you can find a way to take smaller bites. You can find a way of simply going with the flow. For those of you who either have access to a pool or can get down to the lake, or if you can practice maybe just floating, going with the flow, like just kind of like go for a canoe ride or a kayak ride, and just practice going with the flow, rather than that uphill kind of against the current. Little things like that, watching the clouds float by. But when you see the clouds, they just kind of float, right? Little things like that are huge spiritual practices. Being able to go with the flow, and I'm just going to take a moment and watch the clouds float by. I'm going to take a moment and count the stars, right? Those little things. We overcomplicate things all the time because we're human, and we're here to learn, and we're growing, and we're shifting. And you're always enough, and you come from source energy. You come from a beautiful place of unconditional love. That's what our souls know. And that's kind of where we need to lean back into, once in a while. Even if it's once in a while, being able to ground ourselves, taking those moments. It's such a powerful, it's simple. Like when you think about how simple grounding energy is, it's simple. And think when you think about journaling, it's simple. It's so simple, and we get caught up in this tangled mess of complications, and we just need to breathe. And that's the greatest gift you can give yourself. Something as simple as a big breath in and letting it out. A lot of our stress and a lot of our anxiety and a lot of our fears, we can slow it down. We can take a moment. We can ground ourselves. It's really not that hard to just connect for a moment. People will often think, oh, you must meditate for hours at a time, or spend half your day chanting ohms. And it's like, no, very present, very power of now. Moments matter for me too. Sometimes I literally run outside my backyard, bare feet touch the grass and come back in. It doesn't have to be huge and complicated to really matter, to really count, to really support you. Supporting ourselves in that vibration. You can't it's the old saying, like, none of this is new. You can't pour from an empty cup, right? All of that stuff is so simple, yet we get into this complicated physical world chaos that just, it sets us off tilter. It sets us off tilter. And yes, it's a little bit of work, and it's a bit of a shift, and it's a bit of an awareness, but it's only a little bit. Right? It truly is. It's what it's truly about the smaller bites. It's truly about the little, like the little bits of gratitude and the magic moments. There's a lot of magic here right now too, right? The physical world is very chaotic. There's a lot that we don't understand. There's a red hot mess out there. There's a red hot mess out there. But there's also a lot of love, and there's also a lot of beauty, and there's also a lot of community, and there's also a lot of guidance, and there's also a lot of support. There's also a lot of spirit. Right? It's about changing our lenses, and it's about taking a deeper look, even a deeper look within, right? Just come back to that heart space, looking at things from a simple perspective, simple way to access joy. Those are the words for the month of August. Simplest way to access joy. I hope that this resonates with you. I hope that you're able to lean in there, take what resonates and leave the rest. But take a breath, and give yourself a moment. We really truly do ourselves a disservice when we lean into that fast pace. More is better, and all of this chaotic energy. So many people have been saying to me, Lan, I'm so tired. Energetically, I'm tired. Energetically, I don't understand the world. Like, there's all of this energy that's surrounding us, and we need to take a break. We need to breathe. We need to support. We need to take smaller bites. We need to send love and light to the chaos and the collective, and really come back to what really matters. And I know it's simple, and we've been hearing that. How many years have you been hearing that? What really matters, right? It's so simple, and spirit is so simple. And for my students that are here, when you think about the classes and the workshop, it's simple exercises that have brought you such great momentum in how you connect. Right? Like, I see a few names here that have taken some of my workshops in the chat. Think about that. Go back to the simple. Right? It's simple exercises. It's not, the spirit dimensions are not complicated at all. And that's the energy that they bring us. Just pause. Just listen. Just ask. Right? It's very, very simple. Let's move on to some questions. I'm going to take some questions this morning, so I'm going to scroll back up. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. I am so grateful for the support of this community, and for the energy that you bring here. It's delicious. It's absolutely delicious, and I say that all the time. Kayla, it was my birthday yesterday. Does Spirit have any messages for me? Kayla, happy birthday, darling. Kayla, I feel like I just all of what I just said. It was like, breathe too. Like, don't forget about you as well. Taking that time to just simply one step, one moment, that whole going with the flow, Kayla. I feel like you've done great, great steps with that. I feel, and sometimes it's about taking it the next level. Taking another small bite, taking another moment to just breathe. Just kind of taking that next level. And it's so good to see you here, Kayla. It's so good. Any messages from my husband, says Janine. Janine, I feel like I've got to just literally go like this and feel him. I feel like I just literally have to put my hand up and say, oh, you're right there. Spirit works relentlessly hard to let us know that we're there. And, depending on, our our busyness, depending on, like the spirit dimensions require us to just take a moment and to feel into them. I know that you're right here. And I feel like I just need to say, I know that you're right here. And I feel like once you kind of navigate a little bit with that, Janine, I feel like the overpowering, um, unconditional love, support from him, you're going to feel it. It's about feeling it. And with spirit, it's there's a few ways that they work, but the one of the biggest one is feeling, being able to feel them. They're in a vibration of light and love and unconditionalness and peace, and being able to tap in and feel that. So I really feel, Janine, that he's asking you to feel him, and it can be as simple as just reaching out with that knowing, and sometimes we may question it, like, am I crazy? I've asked myself that one many times, and it's like, no, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling that embrace. I'm feeling that hug. And the brain is a powerful thing. You're making that up. It's just a feather. It's just a coin. Just no. I'm feeling this right now. Being able to acknowledge that will, it strengthens our connection to our deceased loved ones in the spirit dimensions. When we simply know and when we simply trust that they're right there, it brings in a magic. It brings, and again, with my mentoring students who are here, how many times have I said that to you? Trust that they're there and trust what you get. Embrace it, and you will get more, and you will get more, and you'll get more. And that's been the biggest thing that I've learned, with my mediumship, is if I can just stay out of here and stay in here and trust what I'm getting, it will grow. And that's exactly how it happens. All right. Um, Lana, it's a boy. I knew it. Oh my goodness. Ask for confirmation. You told me to trust myself, and I was right. So excited. Already have 2 girls. Congratulations. Congratulations. I love that so much. Um, and I know you know this, you already have 2 girls. Time goes by so fast. Really enjoying that now with it, with that beautiful energy, and all of the energy, and enjoying those the magic. It just, you blink. And I'm sure many of you can put up your hand. You blinked and your kids were moving out. It's just, it really, really enjoy. And I know you know that. But I just felt like I needed to just give you that gentle reminder. Really enjoy. It's so, life goes so fast, and this is just, in general, life goes so fast. We blink, you know, and, when we can enjoy that power of now and the simplicity and the magic, it just fills us. Right. When I reflect back, how many of you reflect back, with those magical moments in time and put yourself back there? Right. It just fills your heart and soul. I love that so much for you. Um, J.A. Hello, everybody wishing Kayla happy birthday. Shy. A question. I've landed in a situation with a girl and I don't know what to do with it. What does spirit have to say about it? In your own lane. Shy, I was instantly pulled to in my own lane. I was instantly pulled to sit and feel it deeper. I feel like there's something else for you to see here. I feel like I need to just take some moment and reflect and sift and sort your own feelings and thoughts. I feel like I'm leaning too far into I don't want to use the word pressure here, Shy, but I feel like I want to lean out of what's not mine and what is mine, coming back to what you really feel and what you really want. I just feel like I need to pause that, Shy. Mandy, good morning. Anything from spirit on appointment waiting for? Mandy, I know that you've been through quite a bit. You've had a full plate. I literally, I hear it like the plate being scraped off. I feel like there's things coming off your plate and I feel like the plate is feeling a little bit lighter. I feel, Mandy, I feel like that appointment is fairly close. Like I just feel like it's right there. I feel like I can grab it. So maybe Mandy practicing that, just kind of visualizing yourself grab or use your hand and grab at the appointment date. It doesn't feel far. It doesn't feel that far off to me. A little bit because I had to reach for it, but I don't feel like it's that far off. And simply leaning into trust, and I remind myself of that all the time because sometimes we want something to happen right now. And I always remind myself, right time, right place, right physician, right time. I lean into trying to remind myself I'm going to trust the divine timing of it. And for my highest good. I always ask for that, for my highest good always. And if for my highest good or is a little bit of a wait, then I'm going to trust that. If for my highest good means I need to pause, I'm going to trust that. If for my highest good means I always ask for that. And then sometimes we say, well, what's taking so long? And then spirit will say, well, you asked for what's your highest good. We ask for things we want what's best, right? We always do. We want what's best. So sometimes and there's that impatient with the human part. And yes, we put up my hand. I'll put up my hand on that. We do get impatient because we want things to be better right now. But Mandy, I really feel there's always a reason, Mandy, I know Mandy out. So Mandy, you always ask for your highest good and you have an extremely high level of trust with spirit. So I think, Mandy, that, there's a reason for the pause and I just need to trust it. Maybe Katie. Good morning, everyone. I unfortunately lost my sweet dog a few days ago. Aw. Are there any messages for me? Maybe Katie, I feel like I've just literally got like a thank you card handed to me. I feel like the not just the love that you gave and not just the life that you gave, but I also feel the connection was very deep here. And I feel like I just need to thank you for all that you did. And I also know that you're very grateful for all that I gave. And I feel like, I know this, Katie, but I'm not gone anywhere. I also feel like almost like a guide, like a service guide dog. So I would tap into, asking that dog to continue to guide you. I just feel like I'm still guiding you, but in service of the spirit dimensions. So I would kind of lean in there and just kind of like, I know that you're here and continue to guide me. My sincere condolences there. Spring. Good morning, Lana. Are there any messages from spirit for me today? Spring, I really feel this whole self-acknowledgement. And I feel like I've just got to kind of like write yourself a thank you card. Oh, I like this. Oh, I'm gonna like this one a lot. Write yourself a thank you card. Thank you self for always showing up, for doing the best that you can, for navigating. I think this is something we can all try. Write yourself a thank you card. Spring. And I think that when you allow yourself to just simply write it, you're gonna be surprised at how much not only that you've accomplished, but that all that you've healed and the people that you've helped. I feel like, sometimes we shy away from, like, that self acknowledgement. To write myself from the heart space, a beautiful note to myself, and keep it and pull it out when you struggle. And I just feel like that in that beautiful space of self acknowledgement. And we don't often do that enough. Right. I think this is more I know not just for spring, but when you think about how we don't acknowledge ourselves. I was just reading a little thank you note in my spirit dimension chalkboard. I do have a chalkboard that spirit writes to me. If you see me staring up, that's quite often what I'm doing. I'm reading what spirit's writing to me. But it's like that dear self. Dear self. And I think when we do that, we can also acknowledge things that we need to acknowledge. Dear self, I know it was hard. Dear self, I know you tripped and fell. Dear self, but then you can kind of write out what you learned, how you healed. I feel like this is a powerful message, and I think it may be deeper than what we're giving it credit for. Is really tapping into that acknowledgement space. Spring, you're so worthy and you're so kind and you're so loving and you're so gentle, and just being able to lean in there, spring, and feel it for yourself. Right. you know and this is not just for spring, but for all of us. We often seek that in other people. Why can't they be grateful? Why can't they say thank you? Why can't they see me? Why can't they see my effort? We lean into that, and sometimes we don't get it. Right. Sometimes we don't get that acknowledgement from other people. And I always feel when I'm not getting it from other people, perhaps I need to get it from myself. Maybe there's a reason why I'm not getting it from other people. Maybe I just need to kind of acknowledge it myself, and being able to see it for myself and acknowledge it for myself and feel it for myself. Right. So, I think for all of us, it can, taking a moment of that self acknowledgement. And when you think about it, it kind of leans into what I said earlier. It's so simple just to come back in, and it's something as simple as writing myself a little letter, writing yourself a love letter. Oh, I like that. Right. I love that. I love that so much. It does feel good to to have that from other people. It truly does. But it also feels really good to also give it to ourselves. Shaz, I have my driving test on Monday. Do you see me passing? First time. Shaz, I feel like you're well prepared. And I feel like I want to say you got this. I feel like, but I also feel that I need to calm down a little bit of that normal anxious energy. I feel like that can have a big factor in how this goes. Shaz, if you can spend a little bit of time this weekend on getting yourself grounded, trusting your driving abilities, trusting on how hard you prepared, and I feel like I need to breathe through that. I'm a little bit, and fair enough, and kind of looking at it this way. If I pass, great. If I don't, great. I'll try again. I feel like you're going to do very well, though. I do feel that, but I need to calm down some of that. Some energy, energy can affect outcomes, right? Energy can affect the outcome of things, no matter what I say or anybody else channels. So you need to be able to kind of bring down your own energy and just kind of say, however this goes, great. I'm going to show up and I'm going to drive like nobody's business. I'm going to grab that steering wheel, stay in my own lane, bring my spirit guides with you, but visualize your guides in the back seat. Buckle up, buckle up back there, right? I feel like that will kind of help you, Shaz, kind of like navigate through, that tense moment. Go with the flow with it. Like, it's just about allowing, trusting yourself, trusting the experience, because we can change things vibrationally. And I think that that is huge. We can change outcomes with our vibration. So and what will you learn? You will, if you go intense and it doesn't go well, you will learn to calm that down and just clear minded. Right, clear minded. Have fun with the road test. This is a fun experience, rather than the tense, rather than the stressful. I'm just going to have an experience here on the road. And I think that when we lean into that, it softens it and it gives us an opportunity to go into something very clear minded. Right. So so I know that it's not a direct answer, but some things we can change direct answers to by the energy that we bring forward in it. Right. Thoughts create things, not a new concept. It's been mentioned many, many times by many, many healers, and thoughts create things. And just kind of clear your thoughts. Clear your thoughts, Shaz. Diane, hi Lana, I haven't been on live in a long time. Can you ask my guides if my husband's kidneys are going to be functioning again? Diane, I feel a lot of support around these kidneys. And I feel like they function with support. I'm not sure if they will function on their own completely, but I feel like they're functioning with some support. So whether that support be, medication or the medical world, I feel like they're going to function with support. Diane, I'm also really pushed into the power of right now. Right now, right now, is what's in front of you. Right now, he's here. Right now, this is where you're at. I feel like I need to come back into that. And I get it. There's, when it comes to medical stuff, it's really hard to do that. But I feel very supported in all this. I feel like I'm held up, you included. And Diane, I feel like I have to say what's holding you up. You're holding him up, but what's holding you up? So if you can simply ask, or turn up the volume on your spirituality with, what, you guys, I really need to be held up too. I really need to, like, I don't forget about what you need. Asking for simple things, look at your friends or your family. What can they do to support you? Can somebody make me a lasagna? Or can somebody bring me a bucket of ice cream? Or I feel like I need to say support yourself a little bit in there as well. I feel support, Diane. I just feel a lot of support there. Um, Loretta, good morning, Lana. Thank you always for our messages. You're very welcome. Thanks for showing up. Do you have any messages for me today? Thank you. Loretta, I feel like I need to put my hair down. I feel like I need to tap into that. I'm going to use the word sexy, energetically sexy. I feel like I need to kind of like sway a little bit and kind of embracing my own inner goddess, my own inner sexy. And I just can't stop smiling when I say it. I feel like I need to feel that. I feel like I need to really appreciate my physical self. Um with all the flaws. I don't think any of us have the perfect physical self, but how you look at it should be perfect. Right. I feel like I need to just really embrace that, who I am, and shine that bright and, shoulders back and Care Bear stare. And I just feel like I need to really embrace um, all of that beautiful, goddess, sexy, delicious energy, and and if you do it privately, if you don't want to do it, in front of people. But I just feel like I really need to let my hair down and just what do you call that when you can't walk it? Like, what do you, I don't know what to call that. But just that sway, just that feeling your own inner power, just that your own inner beauty and the outer beauty, right? Like, like we're all beautiful inside and out. Right. So, so taking a look at feeling that, Loretta, there's just something there that I think that you'll really love. Um, J.A. Romero, Psychic Readings 2002. What does spirit say why I've been getting spiritual downloads on my left side of my head? Okay, so number one, thank you for your question here. I'm not recognizing your name, so if you're new, thank you for joining us here. We all get our downloads and our spiritual information and our connection in different ways, and I feel like your way is perhaps on the left side. I tried, and this is just my own personal experience. I'm sharing my point of view and my experience with spirit. Spirit is always trying to get our attention, and in different ways, and it can come in sensations. So the sensation of getting it on your left side is them giving you the validation that you're connected. Sometimes it can be, many people will feel like a tingling on their forehead, or they may feel a body sensation. It's spirit's way of telling you that we're giving you something. And as we kind of nurture our connection, it may shift, it may not. I can't speak on how they're going to work with you, but many times over the years, J.A. Romero, spirit has changed how they work with me to get my attention. Now I don't get as many physical feelings, but I don't necessarily need to now with how I channel. It just evolved in a different way. Sometimes, I've learned to let go of any resistance. If I'm not feeling anything, I don't lean into, okay, they're gone, I'm not getting anything. I just simply sit and allow. And it will always shift. Sometimes, like today, they're writing to me. Sometimes, I'll go weeks without seeing my spirit chalkboard. Today, they're writing to me on my spirit chalkboard. I just allow it, and it's the flow of just allowing. But we often don't know if we're receiving something because we question everything in the physical world. So without a sensation, JA, you may not have that feeling of being connected. So I feel like they're giving you a feeling of being connected. So there are many mediums, intuitives, healers, that will say to you, when I feel it this way, this is how I'm working. It's how you work individually. So I always say, stay with how they're working with you. Yes, it's nice to hear and nice to read and nice, but I never get caught up with if it's on my left, it means it's a mother. If it's on my right, it means it's a father. I don't get if that's how people are working, great. It's not how I work. It's not how they work with me. Right. So I just allow how they're working with me. This is your unique gift, your unique connection, your unique experience. So however it's working with you, you go with it. And that, I think, is a huge tidbit of growing your spiritual connection. There are books and other people's experience can give you guidance, but it's not the only way. It's not the only way, right? So how you connect and how they're working with you is where I would lean in just a little bit more. And good for you. And thanks for joining us here today. Um, the spirit Okay, J.A. Romero, does spirit say about getting me out of my job? The spirit say about getting me out of my job, get fired? Oh, well, I get a new job. I feel what I need to do here is allowing all doors to open. I feel like I need to I feel like I need, if you want a new job, you can get a new job. I don't feel a firing unless you decide you want to get fired and make a choice to get fired. Because I feel quite supported there. But I feel like I need to start opening up more doors. And opening up more doors is an energy. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to go and hand out resumes, but you can simply, look on Indeed and see what's available. I'm open for change for my highest good. I'm open for this. I feel like leaning into that energy of allowing is kind of where I need to is where I need to put you. Spring, don't forget to smash the like button, guys. Thank you, Spring. I appreciate that. Wes, Lana, is there anything from spirit for me, especially with my finance? Wes, I feel okay, so I feel like you're feeling very controlled right now. I feel like, and I think that there's been a lot of lessons with this. I feel like you haven't fully had a lot of control over finances, over housing, over how people see you. I feel like there's a bit of a repeat lesson there. And Wes, finances are a very difficult thing. And I do have some knowledge on as to what you're going through because you've shared it with me privately. But Wes, I feel like I need to just remind you that, and I know this is, people will often wrinkle their nose up at this one, but I feel like I need to say it to you, Wes. You're always going to be looked after some way, somehow. Like, I just feel that there is a force here that's supporting you by guiding how the finances are dispersed. I don't feel it as a negative. I feel it as a positive. I feel it as a support. I feel it as it feels very supportive. So, and I don't feel it as a permanent. So yes, right now there may be, like a service or like a resource that's helping manage your finances, but I feel it as a learning opportunity. I don't feel it as a negative. I don't feel it as a control. I feel like there's an energy here that is preparing you for more of an independent living, more of an independent. And I have to look at this with different lenses. What is this teaching me? What is this? There's a support. There's a help here that's going to help me with my finances. And right now it feels like I don't have control over how it's spent, but I feel like they're trying to teach you something here and to prepare you for being able to take all of the control at some point at some crossroad. But I feel like this is a learning opportunity. I don't feel this so much as a control, Wes. I feel like I don't know if there's an institution or a bank that's trying to help you back spend this money or disperse it where it needs to go. I feel like that's trying to teach you something. So what can I learn from them in all of this on how to manage, how to pay it? What are they trying to teach me? Because I don't feel this as a heavy negative. I don't feel this as a power that's trying to puppeteer you. I feel it more of we're trying to guide you and prepare you for a different crossroad at some point down the line. Okay, okay, well, so I hope that resonates there with you. I gotta watch the time here, guys. It's after 9 o'clock. Eek! The time goes fast. Aaron, I find myself needing to get off social media and just enjoy my own company, sit outside, read, and get out there. Absolutely, Aaron. Social media, it's very addictive. Very addictive. It takes over, and there's, fear based. We lean into fear based, and there's a lot of good on social media, and there's a lot of not so good on social media. We need to be able to pick and choose what we want to lean into. I mean, I get a lot of great meditations off of YouTube. I get a lot of Hertz vibrational frequency off of YouTube. And out of other social media platforms. But I'm very careful on what I subject my energy to. I am very careful, both with people, like in the physical world, as well as social media world. I'm very careful on who, what, and when I'm willing to put my energy into. It's almost like when you look at your energy, or your brain as a sacred energy, and what you want to put yourself in, right? And sometimes it's physical world people. It's funny this is coming up, but I had an experience last night where I seen something in a very different light, and it's like, I've had a great journey with this person. I need to sit over here. My vibration needs to be protected. How can I protect my energetic fields? Right? How, we don't look at our energetic bodies closely enough, or long enough, perhaps. What am I putting my vibration into? What am I doing here energetically? Right. So, the social media world can affect our energetic body. It can affect our frequency. It can affect our chakras. And we don't have an awareness of that, and, always. And sometimes, and I say to when people say, "Oh, I'm feeling really angry and I don't know why." One of the first things I say to them is, "What were you watching on social media?" And they will like look at me and their jaw will drop and they'll be like, I've been really caught up in a lot of fear-based stuff that's going on in the physical world. That chisels away on that. Not only does it affect our energetic body, but it starts to affect our physical body. The tiredness, the fear thoughts, the anxiety, like, not every, and I know you know this, not everything on social media is true. Right, that's the other thing. So if you can become very protective of what you're putting your energy into, what you're investing your energy into, what you're allowing into your vibrational frequency. If you can, there are things that, other things that we can't necessarily control, like the energy on the bus ride or the energy that we have to work in. We can protect ourselves in it, but we can control what we're allowing into our vibrational frequencies with social media. And it's a very addicting energy. It's very addicting. Like how many of you can't help but check? Right? So it's very addicting. So being very careful. There's a lot of good in social media too. There's a lot of really good things that you can tap into vibrationally that allows you to have a different experience energetically. We are energetic beings. We were a little soul up in the spirit dimension we came from energy. We came from source energy. We have a physical body that is affected, and our vibrational frequencies are affected at a deep level that we're not often paying enough attention to. Um, I try really hard to watch what I'm subjecting my energy frequency to. And if it's a hard out, it's a hard out. And sometimes it's hard. It's hard to even say that, I can't stand there anymore. I can't be there anymore. It's just too hard. Sending love and light. It's not a judgment thing, sending love and light. But for me, I feel better when I'm over here in a different vibration. Vibration, it's all energy, right? All right, you guys. If I'm okay, Aaron, I read that one. Daigen Dog. So Daigu. Okay, hey Lana, how am I doing in the spirit world right now? Is spirit encouraging the path I've chosen? Um, so I feel I've got the Uno card. So when I get the Uno card, the back to you from the Uno deck, I feel like you have that answer. I feel like you're just needing validation and support. I feel like you're doing very well, and I feel like you felt the pull on the path that you've chosen. I felt you had your own knowing. Yeah, I felt it was like this way. Come over here. Let's do this way. And I feel like I just need to work a little bit more on trusting that. I feel like working on that trust muscle. Trust is a muscle. And our intuition is a muscle, right? So I feel like if I can just kind of like work on that, maybe even flex it a little bit. Like don't be I feel like I need to flex. I'm gonna flex that deep inner knowing. I'm gonna flex my trust muscle. I love that. And I think if you can kind of like lean into there, yeah, I'm following what I felt. I'm following that pull. I felt that tug and I went that way. I feel like you're connected there yourself. Diane Quinn, yes, social media can be cruel. It can definitely be cruel. Anna, good morning, Lana. I got a vision that two fairies flew by and dropped off gifts to my baby. Do you know what the gifts may be? Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. I feel like one of the gifts, it's a beautiful box of added protection. I just feel like there's just, and I feel that gift more for you. I feel like they are very protected, but and I get your mama heart. We always want our kids protected. So, and I feel like that they've given you that gift, like just that knowing that, you know what, they're protected. They're very much protected. I also feel a box of creativity. Like it just feels like this creative connection to all things magical. And it feels like that now doesn't mean they're going to be, like a famous artist by any means, but I feel like a big box of being able to create things. It feels very, very creative, very, very magical. To create magic is kind of how it feels, in a delicious way, and it maybe just be a simple personal way, but I feel it very much creative. Like just feels very artsy and bright colors, and I can see like a like an artist paint. You know how they have the paint. I don't know what you call that thing. Well, all the colors are on one palette. There we go, palette. Every, every now and again, it's like word searching. I just feel like they're going to be able to paint anything bright in their life. I just feel that bright. I can paint anything. That's how I can paint. And again, I'm not convinced it's fully art world, but I feel it's like a gift to create the magic and art in their own life. I just feel very, very creative. I love that. And thank you for sharing that. I also feel I need to say, that vision was very real. So I don't know if you've struggled a little bit with, was I making that up? Was it just a dream? I feel like I need to say, no, you were meant to see that. And I also feel this is a gift for you to trust your own connection, Anna, to be able to um, feel that for yourself and grow that for yourself. There's magic all around us. There's magic all around us. It's profound, the amount of beautiful magic that is flowing here in the physical world, that is sent here from the spirit dimensions, from the different dimensions, the fairy dimensions, like there's a multitude of different dimensions. So I feel like it's also for you, Anna, to be able to build your trust up as well. Okay, we got a few more here. There's Jen. She's talking to Shy. I get overthinking. Remuneration is coming from you, and it's past the point of helpful. If you have reflected on how you contributed, forgive and release. Very nice, Jen. Aaron, I'm figuring out how to slow everything down. Meantime, I've gotten good at finding moments. Aaron, that was beautifully said. Beautifully said. I've gotten good at finding moments, right? Moments matter. That's post-its been on my mantra for the last several months. And I know I've been repeating it a lot here on the channel, but moments matter. Right. Aaron, that is just so delicious. Hi, hello, I'm Sone. A couple of days ago, I started dating my best friend of 2 years. However, as you predicted, I feel like we should have stayed friends. Something feels off. Does spirit have any guidance? I feel like I need to say, you tried it. You tried that energy. And you quickly became aware that I needed to lean into the friendship. The friendship is still there. I don't feel like the friendship um has vanished or anything like that. I feel like the friendship is still there, but I feel like I need to say, okay, we tried it. We explored that. We had that experience. Not nope, nope, nope. Not gonna continue on that path. But I feel like I feel like I need to soften that heaviness that perhaps you're feeling. Perhaps you had your own inner knowing. I knew I shouldn't have, couldn't have, but I didn't listen. Like I feel like I need to just soften that. We tried that. We had that experience. We got our answer now. We got our answer now. You see how that, and I feel like I have to make a little bit of a lighter. I feel like I need to, like, okay, we tried it. Right? Okay, we got our answer. I feel like, so Nate, I need to say, if you didn't try, I feel like I would have been leaning the other way with the what ifs, what ifs, what ifs. I feel like I need to say, okay, we tried, we got our answer. Right? Like, sometimes we do this whole, I didn't listen, we should have, I could have. I got my answer. Okay. Forward we go. And I feel like I need to make light of it, right? I feel like I need to lighten that a little bit with, we tried. All right. All right, you guys. Anna, my grandpa sent me a message from my dad in a dream. Oh, I love the dream messages. It made sense to him, but also told me his dad never speaks to him in his dreams. He's always silent. But in my dreams, he talks to me the most. Why? Anna, this is a really good question. This is a really, really good question. Anna, so there's a few layers to this. So number one, it does take a phenomenal amount of energy to connect to people in their dreams, both from the spirit dimensions as well as the person having the dream. Um, I feel like sometimes, this isn't, sometimes, dad may not have the same connection that you do, if that makes sense. And it's more of an energetic connection. I feel like, if I was to say to your dad, what I would say to him is, I would just open up a little bit more. I'd love to hear. I would love to hear from you. I know that you're coming, right? I see you in my dreams. I know that you're coming, and feel the energy. Sometimes spirit isn't speaking words, but they're speaking an energy. What does the energy feel like? right? So because there is a language there, and it does take an incredible amount of energy for spirit to speak, and there's also a level of connection. How spirit works with you would be very different than how spirit works with your dad. Right. So there's you could be both learning different things. Your dad could be learning something completely different with visitations from his father in the dream. Dad, what does the energy feel like? Does it feel like support? Does it feel like love? Does it sometimes it's just simple, I'm here, but it's trying to get him to connect. So I feel like his dad is trying to get him to connect very differently. Right. So 'cause I don't feel a heaviness. I don't feel like your grandfather is bringing a heaviness to, like, or like a signal to your dad that feels heavy. It feels very light. And it also may be what your dad can handle right now. We always get what we can handle with our connection with spirit too. But it takes an incredible amount of energy from the spirit dimensions to show themselves. They're non-physical. So just give that a thought for a moment. They're no longer physical. So for them to be able to show themselves, it requires a lot of energy. So and that's why quite a few mediums will tell you they used to be able to see, and now they often don't, or it's a glimmer, it's a glimpse. And it's because the medium has worked on their connection, that they don't necessarily need to see. And my readings personally grew when I didn't see them as much. I mean, you'll be only able to see them for a glimpse, but that's all that I need to see. Right. So it takes a profound amount of energy, both ways. So I feel, Anna, that it's simply your dad learning to connect differently, your dad learning to be open, and I feel like you're the spirit dimensions, right? So it's just a different in how you're working. We all work differently. Um, all right, you guys. Ooh, the time. I do have to let you guys go. Um, Spring, I had to get away from social media right after we lost Michaela because there were so many wanting to go on a witch hunt. It was really hurting my heart. Yeah, we have to know when to step back, right? We have to know when to step back. Wes, so it's just having someone over by something team viewer, but with financial stuff instead of computers. Kind of, Wes. That's kind of what I'm trying to relay there to you. I've been getting so overwhelmed by applying on Indeed. So I think with if you're getting overwhelmed with applying on Indeed, shift that into opening doors. Shift that into looking. So doors of opportunity are right in front of me. Use what, J.A. Romero. Use your fridge door, your cupboard doors. Open every time you open your cupboard door. Simply say out loud or say in your head. Um, Doors of opportunity are always opening for me. I'm going to trust the process here. Same thing with your fridge. When you open a fridge door, the light goes on. There's always light behind doors of opportunity for me. It shifts that anxiousness. It shifts that fear. It shifts that feeling of overwhelm. I'm doing the best that I can for open doors. What's meant for me is coming. It's already here. I'm working away at it. Jen, the left brain is about logic. I think very cool. You're getting downloads on the left side with a push that is screaming. Yeah, and it's also how that person is working. There's a big part of that with how they're working with me. Every single person that connects to the spirit dimension has their own unique way of working, and I think that is extremely important to acknowledge. This is how I work with spirit. This is your connection to the spirit dimensions is so personal. It's so intimate. It's so magical, and it's how you work. So always keeping that in the back of your mind. This is how we're working today. I literally have my spiritual punch card, and when I show up, whether it be here or in readings or on the platform or in teaching, I literally punch in with how we're working today. I don't try to control it. I don't try to analyze it. I don't try. I just how am I working today? What are we doing today? It just shifts. It shifts it big time. You want to shift into the next level? Try that. Try that. I'm not gonna overthink it. This is how we're working today. Let's have some fun here. I'm gonna do a few things. Let's do a few things. Let's go with start with spirit animal. So what do we need to know for the month of August? I'm using just for reference here the Dr. Stephen Farmer spirit animal book. Let's just see what we can get from here. You guys focus. What do we need to hear for the month of August? Whoa. Oh, it's the bear. So it's a long one. So I'm going to turn the page to the beginning, and it's a long one. Yeah, it's a long one. So bear, set clear boundaries and don't compromise, even if pressured. Ask for what you want, whether or not you'll feel you'll get it. Get going on that creative project you have in mind. Take some time out from your usual routines and spend time in solitude. Simplicity was what I said August was going to be about. Here we go. You may be in need of physical or emotional healing. What did I say? What did they say? It comes from simplicity. It comes from slowing it down. Be gentle and show your love to those you're close to. Find answers to your questions. Go inside rather than reading or consulting others. Black bear. It's an important time for meditation and introspection. Balance your activities with periods of rest. Don't forget to play. Allow any darkness you discover in yourself to teach you a lesson. Brown grizzly bear. Stay grounded no matter what. It's time to bring your dreams and plans into fruition. It's time to trust your instinct with the world. Don't just wait for something to happen. Take action. Polar bear. Be assertive and strong in both your communication and your actions, yet be willing to yield as necessary. Treat yourself with respect and maintain your dignity at all times. Before you take action, pause. Observe the situation and whether you're ready to make your move. Sorry, and when you're ready to make your move, commit to it fully without hesitation. Use only the amount of energy needed for the task before you rather than diverting it to unrelated matters. We do that all the time, don't we? This is a time to nourish and replenish your body, mind, and spirit. So prepare the means to do so. Simplify. Simplify. You're about to embark on a spiritual adventure, one that which awakens some of your innate gifts and qualities that have been dormant until now. Slow down. Slow down. I love that. I I don't know why I'm surprised every time. I just it's magic. It's pure magic, right? Pure magic. Let us do a wisdom card. So this is from the Wisdom of the Night House. Let's see what we get here. Again, this is a fairly new deck to me. I've been working on it. We're working with it a little bit and pulling a couple of oracle cards and getting to know the what the cards mean. Um, and also just channeling what the card means to you. So taking a moment and just whatever card I pull, no matter what I say, or what the book says, what does it mean right? So let's just I think that that is something that we also need to acknowledge is what does this card mean to you? Whoa, oh, we got a jumper. All right, I got two, so we're gonna go with two of them here. I got three. There was three. Holy smokes. I know I'm not going to be here a month, but geez, Louise. Differences. So differences. So it's got a black and a white cat, and a bowl of fruit there. And it's card, if you have this deck, it's card number 36. So I feel, with this card, I'm also going to read the book after I kind of tap into the card itself. We always have difference of opinions, right? I mean, I think that that's, very clear, and things are not always black and white. Sometimes we feel like we need to know the answer all the time. Sometimes sometimes it's difference of opinions. And when you think about the social media world, there's that out there. You can there's an argument going on all the time on social media. But I feel like when taking a look at on how different we are is also something that I think is really important. There's also a bowl of fruit here, and you see the two cats. They're both sitting in front of the bowl of fruit, sharing, even though they have a difference of opinion. We can have different thoughts, different of opinions, be in our own path, yet collectively together. So I think that differences and being able to accept and acknowledge that we're all different. Let's see what the book says about card number 36. I will read that to you. Apparently I can't count. There we go. As your goddess, I have seen many things since the beginning of time. Know that intricate differences between all beings are sacred and good. You must learn to accept that others are not the same as you. It's important to allow others to express their own opinions. Absolutely. Absolutely. Consider the difference between an orange and an apple. Both are fruit, but they are different kinds. Is one more valuable than the other? I think not. All creatures, all beings have the right to their uniqueness to try and to see, hear, try to see and hear other people's side if you can, with the openness. Okay, this is card number 34, trapped. So we got crow in a cage, crow in a cage. I think sometimes we feel very trapped. I think sometimes you may feel that there's more to you, there's more to the outside world. Opening the cage yourself. I think sometimes we hold ourselves sick. We often, get wrapped up in all the hows, all the whens, all the whys. And I think sometimes we literally simply have to take the first step in opening the door and being able to come out and spread our wings. I truly, if I'm feeling like there's no forward momentum, and I say this, for those of you who have seen me in a session and you may use the words "I'm stuck," I often say, stand up out of your chair and take a few steps forward across the room. You're not stuck. I think that we can open doors, we can stand up and move, we can shift how we're thinking. We can also pause. We can also pause with, what is this teaching me? So let's see what the book says about card 34. 34. Do you sense that you cannot do what you really want to do? Are you feeling like you cannot move forward? Are you feeling like you're not able to fulfill? Do you ever feel like you'll never get what you want or go where you want to go? Have patience. To, for and trust, for you are truly in a temporary position that only exists in your mind. Oof. Your circumstances, no matter what they are, will change, and you will be free to experience the life you wish to lead. In these times, dreaming is your best antidote. And patience. Consider the story of the half raven boy trapped in conflict until he finally follows his heart. Trust in me, for I will show you when the cage door opens. How cool is that? All right. So card number 15 is fragment. Let's see what the book says. Card 15. I'm running out of time here, guys, so I gotta go straight to the book on this one. All right. Friends, family, work, study, activities can all seem unrelated to each other. You are always whole, even if at times feelings feel separate and fragmented. It's only an illusion. Choosing this card reminds us that simple parts of your life are important. If the one you're asking about seems confusing, focus on one that brings you clarity. Love is the vibration of beauty and wholeness, regardless of how disconnected things feel. Also, remember to take a step back when you're trying to understand something. Slow down. You may be looking at only one piece of a giant puzzle. See the big picture through the eyes of spirit. No matter how or what, all is well. That was fun. That was fun. Let's do an angel number. All right. What do we need to know? The angelics. Let's do an angel number today. 228. Trust that new opportunities are answers to your prayers. Walk through the doors that are opening. What was that gentleman's name or person's name? J.A. Romero. This one might be for you as well. Walk through the doors that are opening for you and accept offers of help. Cool, that's good. Let's do another one. 290. Your divine life purpose is spirit's will, and it is right for you to focus your time and energy upon your purpose. All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed your monthly update for the month of August. I will be going with the flow. So I am going to just simply allow myself some time. Simplicity is huge for me. I also need to sit with spirit and take a look at what we're doing for the fall. What am we doing for the fall, spirits? I'm also a little bit behind on a few things as far as work related stuff goes. I need to go visit some venues. I need to get some writing done. I need to take a look at what the next couple months is going to look like. I also need to have some fun and some rest. If feel the pull, if spirit says tap into a YouTube live, I will show up. I always trust what I get, as always. But I'm going to also honor the simplicity. Simplicity is huge. So I will be taking that much needed time, that much needed rest, recharge, regroup. Right. Sometimes it's just about regroup, and spirit pushed me hard. I was not able to add any booking dates to my calendar. Spirit was like a hard no. If you do it, you're on your own. And they literally said that to me. You're on your own if you decide to do that. Um, so I need to listen, and that's one thing that I've learned, that when I listen, there's less resistance. So I will be listening. I'll be listening closely. So yeah, time to flow. Um, my name is Jasmine. Thank you for calling my name. You're very welcome, darling, and welcome to our community, Jasmine. I'm not sure if you're new here, but there's always a huge welcoming community here. There's always such love and support, and I know I say this often, but it's just such a beautiful community here. It's this is such a beautiful, safe, kind, loving, supportive, non-judgmental space, and it fills my heart. I look forward to my time here on the channel. It's always been just that, just love, just support, just guidance for each other, not just from not this is not me and my channel. This is us in our channel, in our community. And I just love you guys so much for cheering for each other, for holding each other's hands, for always being here. With your kind words, your loving vibration. It's just been beautiful. It's just been beautiful. Jasmine has been here. She changed her username. Oh, okay. Thank you, Erin. Okay. Um, I'm not new, I'm returning. Either way, whether you're new or returning or here every energy update, is such a beautiful space to have you here. And I am for always grateful, and I'm always wishing you love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided day. I'll see you soon.